Caught wife cheating after 15 years. M45 been married for 15 years to WIFE 44. We have 2 kids. And I don't know how to really start this, so here we go. Me and my wife were childhood friends. Not like we were close calls, we really didn't notice each other much until high school after mutual friends started dating. And we saw each other a lot more after that. At first we were friends, and then after I grew a pair of nuts I asked her out, and she said yes. A little confession. I had a crush on her before the friends started doubting, but I kept it to myself. We started dating out last 2 years of high school, and planned to go to the same college. But after figuring out that her school didn't offer the same program, I had to head to another one. Should have seen a problem when the school I picked had her same program, but she told me that it wasn't a place she seen herself. We tried the long distance for a while, but I really didn't work, so we called it a quit while we were in college. After a few years, and I graduated from school, we surprisingly bumped into each other during a visit back home. Conversation sparked up a passion of interest, so we stayed in contact, talking almost every day, and reigniting each other passion into each other. And it wasn't long where she had moved into my apartment. It did seem pretty fast now that I think about, but I can't lie, it just felt right at the moment. My career was going well, and she was just about to graduate for her degree, so everything seemed right. Now during this time she had a male friend that I called quote him, and he was extremely attractive. This guy is a player, and I kinda didn't trust him. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't trust him at all, and I hated that my girl was his friend, and we had many conversations about this, and she promised me, damn near swore to God himself, that she had no romantic feeling for this guy, and they were strictly friends, and that if I really trusted her that I wouldn't worry, believing that I should trust her and know that she won't do anything to sabotage what we are building. Let's fast forward. At this point my work and home life is competing with each other. The kids need me for this, but I have this and that to do by the end of the week, and I'm not gonna lie, I made my mistake maybe leaning too hard on her, or not telling her how much I appreciated her, but I always thought it was implied. So one day I come home from work, and as I walked in I hear her laughing and giggling. As I head into the kitchen, I noticed she was cleaning the dishes, and him was sitting at the island talking to her. As I walked into the room, a slight quietness entered with me, almost like I was the guest in my house, but they both quickly greeted me, not suspiciously, but enough to fill the silence. Now me and him wasn't friends, but we had have a conversation on my uncomfortable feeling about him and my wife, and it wasn't long or combative, it was short and simple. Looking back now he probably got a good laugh at men, but after a few men he left, and it was me and my wife, and now at this point I don't know if she was already with him, or she was just mad at me for not helping out a lot. But when I went in to get close to her or show her some intimate touch, she rejected me with, "I'm tired, had the kids all day," or she would start a random argument about something that was so small. This has been happening for the last 6 months, until I just got to the point and asked, "Is there someone else?" Quote, and this will hell broke loose. She called me every name in the book, and even brought up some insecurities that I had, and if that wasn't a sign, she didn't talk to me for about a week after that. At this point I knew there was something going on, so I knew I had to figure it out. So I booked her a spa day on my day off, and made sure she was completely pampered. And while she left the house, me and her electrician buddy placed small cameras around the house. Now before you say I wouldn't and have done that, I would have left, and you're right, but I was praying that I was going too far. I was hoping that I'll record for a month or 3 and see that I didn't get anything, and then know that I'm a dumbass with a great woman that loves me. She came home smiling, and even gave me some attention. I thought that maybe the spa day was all she needed, some time to wind down. It was almost like back in the day while it lasted. So after 2 months of recording I didn't find anything, and I was so happy, feeling like a dumbass for putting these cameras in my house. So I stopped watching the cameras for a while. They were just there, completely became out of sight, out of mind. Until one day I get a notification on my phone telling me that something in the house was ajar or something like that. So I checked the cameras, since I can see if one of the kids had broke something. As I flicking through the camera I stopped on my front door, noticing a black pair of shoes next to another pair, as it didn't look like none of my shoes, just from what I can see, right? So something in me said go to the bedroom camera. As I look at that camera, there was no one in there, and the bed was still made. For some odd reason I just kept flicking through the camera, and then I caught my wife coming out the laundry room with him behind her. She fixed her clothing, and he was buckling his pants. My heart shattered, as I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Everything inside of me wanted to go home and kill both of them, I'm not gonna lie, but I thought about my kids, and how losing both parents won't benefit them. So I shut everything in my office, and ashamed to say I cried, can't say how long, but long enough where my eyes felt like they were swollen. And after that I knew what I had to do, so as I'm heading home, I'm trying to compose myself for this argument that I know was coming. I called a friend of the family, and asked if the kids could stay over for a while, so that we can talk. They agreed, and as I arrived home, my wife was cooking, and I can still smell that food like a prisoner. Last meal, as I sat down, it was a silence as I looked at her. I pulled out my phone, and showed her the video of her and him coming out the laundry room, and all I said, why at first she tried to lie even with video evidence. But after a while pursuing it, she finally broke and told me the truth, that her and him has been sleeping together the last 3 years we been married, and she could be pregnant with his child, and that she's sorry I had to find out like this, but since it all out she wants a divorce. It hit me hard cause I came from a broken family, and never wanted my kids to feel the struggle of separated family. But after hearing that I got up and went upstairs as I felt defeated. I've worked my ass off and did all I could to place this family on a pedestal, and it felt like someone just kicked it from under me. I wanted to harm myself so bad when I figured that out, but God works in mysterious ways. Calls my daughter called me and told me that she loved me, not in those words, but it was what I needed to get better.